to foreign, it's obvious that all our radio and TV stations what they pay for a year. Just a figure.
No, just a figure.
I want to look at that. Excuse me.
And yes, now it used to be 8 million, I think, in the 90s, and it's now 20 something.
That would explain the whole scene. That would explain the whole scene.
Yeah.
500,000 is the salary of one or two professionals in any other. Look at my electrical engineer, right? That is just two people's salary. So what you're talking about there's the entire industry. Something is seriously wrong with
Well, I mean, there's a whole ton of things wrong. We could also get into cut and shame, and we'll talk about it in our collection of our overseas stuff and things. But you see, the thing is, once you have no presence even in your market, your local market, it is difficult for you to make a case to ASCAP and BMI that you have any presence in the international space either. I mean, I have music on more than 50 compilations all over the world, right? I used to write 50 compilations all over the world. I have music on compilations all over. My regular thing from cut, at one time it used to be I would get like a grand two, right? From cut as for a year. And that's them really saying is that they really hear my music, but hold us something because you're a member. That is now down to like $80 or something like that.
My screen and go to zero. Partner, if you say 9 million per year, right? That is 9 by 4, 28 salaries of people. Salaries of 28 people. That would explain exactly why they are posting local content.
Well,
that's crazy.
Yeah. The thing is that once you sit down across the table from these guys, it's kind of clear. It's kind of clear why, who and what and why. Because they have a certain, apart from Brandon, right? They have a certain, I mean, excuses to everybody. They have a certain kind of complexion and hue, right? About the way the tables is set up, right? Who does be sitting down on one part of the table and who's sitting down on the other side of the table, right? And it's pretty clear that it's almost that I'm clear. I will tell you here, this is not official act thing. This is Rubadiri telling you it is class warfare, right? It is a set of people who do not want to see a set of poor black and Indian people living like them. Living in the same places that they're living in, driving the same cars they're driving in, checking the same girl who they're checking, and that kind of stuff. If one Marshall Montano could cut a swat through the woman of Trinidad and Tobago like that, imagine 200 people like that. Imagine 400 Iowa Georges. I'm talking about in terms of money. You know? And to me it is clear when I sit down across the table that that is what we're up against. And that those people will never accede to it. If it has to do with diplomacy and us convincing. There's no convincing of anybody across the table by by Socratic argument that so and so. They have none of that, right? It is open class warfare, right? That men looking like that is not, because if I'm telling you, if the local content, then we have a document called the Optimum Industry. So before we leave, people will sign up their email addresses, whatever, and send the Optimum Industry to you all. You all can adjust it and whatever. The Optimum Industry has it is what is the capacity of the industry right now with the present players at if all things were equal. So we ain't changing none of the personnel, right? None of the bands who out there, none of whatever. But if things will just be had passed the legislation and things will just operating, and we figure that there would be about 50 people operating at an international chart level who could be safely pulling at least about $55 million a year. About 50, there are 50 acts that are there already. That if they, and below that, there are probably about 200 acts who could have very credible international careers. Meaning that they be touring regularly, whatever, they could be making anywhere between 500,000 to 10 million $50 million easily, without any kind of big to-do or any kind of thing. Just by sheer dint of their talent and of the normal avenues that exist. If Trinidad had all the different pathways that exist in a normal country, so that if on merit, if you're good, you could graduate to this level, and then this, and then you could graduate to that level, and to whatever. Right? That is the reality of the thing. I say that again. There are about 50 acts that are chart level artists that could be making about $55 million a year easily, right? And there are those that could be much bigger than that, you know. And then there are others that, you know, as I said, 200, about 200, and then under that there are all kinds of other people who, you know, could have credible careers as musicians in the country, and that is what exists for us, that right behind the door, you know. And I mean, we know it. We know the bands. I mean, we know, you know. I mean, everybody here love their band and whatever. But we know that the bands, who are the bands? We know the bands when you hear a man play and you hear that thing is like, damn, that men, they're ready. You know. I mean, they're ready. They could step outside there and they're ready. You know. And we know, and I also know, as I know that there are 300 music that get aborted every year, I also know that every single artist has at least one good song in them. I have seen the crappiest bands. When I tell you, I mean excruciatingly, I mean things that destroying cells in your body as you're listening to it. You know that it's like, I'm dying. You know, it's like things that are, I mean, and then in the middle of the set, these fellas, from the first chord, you're like, hello. And it's like, where'd that come from? I mean, I believe that everybody has at least that one song in them. And all bands have at least that one song. And the thing is that I was in a venue 2 nights ago. And there's a guy who was playing who was pretty good. He's very good band. And then, hello, before you leave,